Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to embark on a grand tour of a country that's really a world in itself, India. From some of the highest snow-covered peaks on the entire planet to sun-drenched tropical coasts, we're about to explore the absolutely incredible geography that shapes this nation.
So first things first, let's just try to get a sense of the scale we're talking about. India covers a massive 3.28 million square kilometers. It's so vast, it's often called a subcontinent. It stretches about 3,200 kilometers from north to south and almost 3,000 from east to west. Inside this one border, you're going to find just about every kind of landscape you can possibly imagine.
And what's truly staggering is that this immense land is home to over 1.2 billion people. Every single landscape we're about to see is deeply, deeply connected to the lives lived there, shaping history, culture, and even the future.
So with that sheer scale in mind, you can start to understand the incredible diversity we're about to dive into. You've got towering mountains, you've got arid deserts, lush plains, ancient plateaus. It is all here. But the real question is, what holds this incredible variety together?
This right here, this is our central theme. It's the big idea. Because amidst all the incredible variety in landscape, climate, and culture, there's this powerful thread of unity. It's this idea of unity in diversity, and we're going to see it pop up again and again on our tour.
All right, our journey begins in the magnificent north, with the snow-capped Himalayas. The name itself literally means the abode of snow, and these mountains, they stand like these colossal sentinels, just guarding the subcontinent.
The Himalayas aren't just one single wall of mountains. It's actually 3 parallel ranges. A good way to think of it is like stepping down a giant natural staircase. So way up at the top, you have the Great Himalaya, the Himadri, which is home to the world's highest peaks. The next step down is the Middle Himalaya, or Himachal, which you might know for its beautiful hill stations. And then that final, lowest step before you hit the plains is the Shivalik Range.
Okay, now as we come down from that abode of snow, we enter the vast Indian interiors. And this is where we're going to find some of the most dramatic, whiplash-inducing contrasts in the entire country.
Our first stop in the interiors is the Great Indian Desert, out in the west. It's this huge expanse of dry, hot, sandy land. Here, there's very little vegetation, which creates this starkly beautiful, but also pretty challenging environment.
But then, you move just a little bit east, and the landscape completely transforms. You leave that arid desert behind, and suddenly you're in the northern Indian plains. These are level, flat lands, and they are incredibly fertile. This is the agricultural heart of the nation.
So what's the secret here? What makes these plains so fertile? Well, it all comes down to something called alluvial deposits. Think of it as a gift from the mountains. These mighty rivers like the Indus, the Ganga, and the Brahmaputra carry these superfine, nutrient-rich soils down from the Himalayas and just spread them all across the plains, creating this vast natural breadbasket.
And this just perfectly illustrates a fundamental rule of geography. Given this incredible fertility, it leads us to a really crucial question. Why are these plains one of the most densely populated regions in the entire world?
The answer, well, it's pretty simple, really. It's all about the land. That incredibly fertile soil makes farming super productive, which allows it to support a huge population. It's a fundamental rule of human geography, where the land provides, people gather. It's as simple as that.
Okay, let's keep journeying south. To really understand this next region, we need a key term, a peninsula. It's just a piece of land that's surrounded by water on 3 sides. And as you can see, a massive one dominates the entire southern half of India. So heading south from those flat plains, we arrive at the Peninsular Plateau. And this place, this ancient triangular landmass, is a complete 180 from the north. Its surface is highly uneven, a really rugged landscape of rolling hills and deep valleys.
This plateau is basically the geological heart of India. And get this, it's bordered by the Aravalli Hills, one of the oldest mountain ranges on the entire planet. It's crisscrossed by vital ranges like the Vindhyas and Satpuras, which feed major rivers that flow west. And because it's so ancient, this plateau is a total treasure chest of minerals like coal and iron ore, which have fueled India's industry for centuries.
All right, our tour now moves from the interior of the plateau out to its edges. We're going to explore the mountain ranges that frame it, the coastal strips right beside them, and India's island territories.
So flanking the plateau are 2 great mountain ranges called the Ghats. On the west coast, you've got the Western Ghats, and they rise up like this sheer green wall. It's an almost continuous barrier. But over on the east, the Eastern Ghats are a totally different story. They're a series of more broken, uneven, and kind of arid hills.
And sandwiched between these Ghats and the sea are the coastal plains. And here we go again with a fascinating contrast. The western coastal plains are really narrow, kind of squeezed between the mountains and the Arabian Sea. The eastern plains, on the other hand, are much, much broader.
Finally, let's take our tour offshore, because India also includes two major groups of islands. Over in the Arabian Sea, you have the Lakshadweep Islands, and then way out to the southeast in the Bay of Bengal lie the Andaman and Nicobar Islands.
Now, the origin of the Lakshadweep Islands is just incredible. They are coral islands, which means they were built entirely by life itself. They were formed over thousands and thousands of years from the skeletons of tiny little marine creatures called polyps. As countless generations lived and died, their hard skeletons just built up layer upon layer until they literally grew out of the sea to form the islands we see today. It's amazing.
Okay, for our final stop, let's zoom out. Because this incredible physical landscape, it doesn't exist in a vacuum, right? It shapes and is shaped by its place in the world. So let's take a quick look at India's geopolitical context.
So, India shares a direct land border with 7 different countries. This position, right at the heart of South Asia, creates a really complex and deeply interconnected neighborhood.
And its connections don't stop at the land. Across the sea to the south, you've got its island neighbors, Sri Lanka, which is separated from the Indian mainland by the narrow Polk Strait, and then, even further south, the Maldives.
And that brings us full circle, right back to where we started. We've journeyed from the highest mountains on Earth to tropical islands, from bone-dry deserts to the most fertile river basins you can imagine. And that leaves us with one final and I think crucial question. In a land with such dramatic physical contrasts, what are the traditions that truly bind it all together as one nation?